The smell of roasted lamb fills the air as I sit at this impossibly long mahogany table, my fingers gripping the stem of my wine glass so tightly I worry it might shatter. The crystal chandelier above us casts prismatic light across the faces of the Mendoza family, making them look almost ethereal, untouchable, like figures in an oil painting rather than real people sharing a meal. I am wearing the blue dress, the one that cost me 2 months of salary. The one I bought specifically for occasions like this when I need to look like I belong in places I clearly do not. The silk feels foreign against my skin, too smooth, too expensive, like wearing someone else's life. Marcella sits at the head of the table, her posture so perfect it looks painful. Her diamond necklace catching the light every time she moves. She is talking about some charity gala she is organizing, something about raising money for underprivileged children, and the irony is not lost on me. Here she is, planning to help poor children while looking at me like I am something she stepped in on her way to the opera. Sebastian squeezes my hand under the table. His palm is sweaty, he always gets nervous around his mother, like a little boy waiting to be scolded, and I find it simultaneously endearing and pathetic. He is 32 years old, runs an entire division of his father's real estate empire, commands respect from men twice his age, but put him in a room with Marcella and he becomes small. Roberto, Sebastian's father, carves the lamb with surgical precision. He is a man of few words, preferring to let his wife do the talking, while he observes, calculates, judges. I feel his eyes on me throughout the meal, assessing my worth like I am a property he is considering purchasing. Apparently, I am not a good investment. To my right, Valeria picks at her food with the kind of disinterest that comes from having everything you could ever want. She is Sebastian's older sister, beautiful in that glossy magazine way, all highlighted hair and perfect teeth and clothes that cost more than my car. Her husband Pedro sits beside her, checking his phone every few minutes, probably closing deals that could buy and sell my entire neighborhood. Diego, the youngest Mendoza, sits across from me with his girlfriend Camila. Diego has kind eyes, and I wonder if he sees what is happening, if he understands the subtle violence of this dinner. Camila is a model, all long limbs and sharp cheekbones, and she has not eaten more than 3 bites of food all evening. She pushes a carrot around her plate like it is a chess piece. The conversation turns to me. It always does eventually. Marcella has a way of steering every discussion toward topics that make me uncomfortable, like a cat playing with a mouse before the kill. So tell us about your work, dear, Marcella says. And the word dear sounds like an insult wrapped in honey. Sebastian has told us you teach, but I am afraid he was rather vague on the details. I teach 3rd grade, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. At Lincoln Elementary. I have been there for 4 years. The silence that follows feels like a physical thing, pressing down on my chest. I see Valeria and Pedro exchange a glance. Diego suddenly becomes very interested in his wine. Camila continues her carrot choreography. How wonderful, Marcella finally says. And I know from her tone that she thinks it is anything but wonderful. Teaching is such noble work, so important for society. And 3rd grade, that must be quite challenging. I love it, I say, and I do. I love my students, their curiosity, their honesty, the way they still believe the world is fair and good. They have not learned yet that people like Marcella exist. It is rewarding in ways that have nothing to do with money. I see Marcella's lips thin. Of course, she says. Though I imagine the compensation is rather modest. Sebastian, darling, did you not mention that you had to help with some expenses recently? My face burns. Yes, Sebastian helped me replace my car when it died. Alone, I want to add. Not a handout, but the distinction feels pointless in this room. Sebastian shifts beside me. Mother, he says weakly. I am simply curious, she continues, turning to Roberto. What do teachers make these days? I confess, I have no idea. Roberto names a figure that is close to my actual salary, and the way he says it makes it sound like pocket change, like something you would tip a valet. Enough to live on, I say, lifting my chin. Not everyone needs a mansion to be happy. The words come out sharper than I intend. Valeria raises her eyebrows. Pedro actually looks up from his phone. Diego coughs. Marcella smiles, but it does not reach her eyes. Of course not, dear. Happiness comes in all forms. Though I confess I have always found it easier to be happy when one does not have to worry about making rent or choosing between groceries and utilities. I have never had to make that choice, I say, though it is not entirely true. There have been months when things were tight, when I ate ramen for dinner more often than I would like to admit. Marcella takes a sip of her wine. Tell me about your family, she says. Your parents, what do they do? My father is a mechanic, I say. He owns his own shop. My mother works in a bakery. She makes wedding cakes. I see Marcella process this information, filing it away in whatever mental folder she keeps for people she considers beneath her. How charming, she says. Hard-working people. The salt of the earth, as they say. And where did you go to university? State University, I answer. I had a full academic scholarship. A scholarship, she repeats, as if the word itself is distasteful. How industrious of you. I suppose that teaches one the value of hard work in a way that those of us who had things handed to us never quite learned. The passive aggression is so thick I could cut it with the knife sitting beside my untouched lamb. I worked 2 jobs while getting my degree. I say. I graduated with honors. Impressive, Roberto says. But he does not sound impressed. He sounds like he is commenting on the weather. Sebastian finally speaks up. She is brilliant, he says, top of her class. She could have done anything, but she chose teaching because she wanted to make a difference. How admirable, Marcella says. Though I must say, Sebastian, you could make quite a difference yourself by marrying someone who could help advance your career. Someone with the right connections, someone who moves in the proper circles. The words hang in the air like smoke. Everyone at the table freezes. Even Camila stops playing with her food. Mother, Sebastian says again, but there is still no force behind it. I am simply being practical. Marcella continues. Marriage is not just about feelings, Sebastian. It is about building a life together. About partnerships that benefit both parties. About social compatibility. Surely you see that. I see that you think I am not good enough for your son. I say quietly. Marcella looks directly at me now, and I see something calculating in her expression, something that has been building all evening. It is not about good enough, dear, she says. It is about suitability. You come from a very different background than we do. There is no shame in that, of course. Everyone has their place in the world, but Sebastian has responsibilities, expectations, a certain standard of living to maintain. He needs a partner who understands that world, who was raised in it, who knows instinctively how to navigate it. I know how to navigate it, I say, but my voice shakes. Do you, Marcella asks. Do you know how to host a fundraiser for politicians? Do you know how to negotiate the social hierarchies of country clubs? Do you know which families are worth cultivating and which are not? Do you understand the importance of appearances, of maintaining one's reputation, of being seen with the right people in the right places? Those things can be learned, I say. Some things cannot be learned, dear. They must be bred. They must be in your blood, in your bones, in the way you were raised from infancy. You can teach someone to use the correct fork, but you cannot teach them to be comfortable at a table like this, and discomfort shows. People can always tell when someone does not belong. I feel tears burning behind my eyes, but I refuse to let them fall. Not here, not in front of her. Sebastian, Valeria says softly. But he does not respond. Your mother is right, Roberto says. We have nothing against this young woman personally. She seems perfectly pleasant, but she is not right for this family. Surely even you can see that, son. I love her, Sebastian says. But his voice is barely above a whisper. Love, Marcella says, shaking her head like I am a child who just said something naive. Love is a fleeting thing, Sebastian. It fades. What remains is compatibility, shared values, common backgrounds. What remains is whether your wife can help you or hinder you, whether she can open doors or close them, whether she brings something to the table besides feelings. She turns to me again. I see the calculation in her eyes, the careful choice of words designed to wound. Look at this room, she says. Look at this house, at this table, at the life Sebastian leads. Can you honestly say you belong here? Can you honestly say you can provide him with the kind of partner he needs at business dinners, charity galas, political fundraisers? Can you honestly say you understand his world? I understand enough to know that kindness matters more than the right fork, I say. Marcella laughs. It is a cold sound, brittle like breaking ice. Kindness, she says. How lovely. How idealistic. Tell me, dear, will kindness pay for the lifestyle Sebastian is accustomed to? Will kindness impress his business associates? Will kindness secure his position in society? I thought we were talking about marriage, not a business merger, I say. At our level they are the same thing, Roberto says matter-of-factly. Marcella leans forward. Her eyes are hard now, all pretense of politeness gone. Let me be very clear, she says. You are a sweet girl, I am sure. But you are not what my son needs. You come from a different class, a different world. You do not have the breeding, the education, the background necessary to be a proper wife to someone in Sebastian's position. You will hold him back. You will embarrass him. You will be a constant reminder that he married beneath himself. The words feel like slaps. I look at Sebastian, waiting for him to defend me, to stand up to prove his mother wrong. He sits there looking at his plate, his jaw clenched, his hands balled into fists, but he says nothing. Nothing. Marcella sees my expression and knows she has won. She delivers the final blow with surgical precision. You will never be enough for my son, she says clearly, distinctly, so there can be no misunderstanding. He deserves someone of our level. Someone who can match him in every way. Someone who belongs. The room is completely silent. I hear my own heartbeat in my ears, feel my hands trembling in my lap. I look around the table one more time. At Valeria, who avoids my gaze. At Pedro, who has gone back to his phone. At Diego, who looks uncomfortable but says nothing. At Camila, who seems relieved the attention is not on her. At Roberto, who nods slightly as if his wife has simply stated an obvious fact. At Sebastian, who still will not look at me. And something inside me breaks. Or maybe it does not break. Maybe it crystallizes, hardens, becomes clear. I stand up slowly. My legs feel steady, stronger than I expect. I smile. It surprises me, this smile, but it comes naturally, easily. You are right, I say to Marcella. She looks surprised. I am sorry, what? You are right, I repeat. He deserves someone better. I pick up my purse from the back of my chair. I look at Sebastian one last time. He finally raises his head, confusion in his eyes. Wait, he starts to say. But I am already walking. Through the dining room, past the original Picasso hanging in the hallway. Past the marble statues and the antique furniture and all the expensive things that are supposed to mean something but really mean nothing at all. I walk out the front door into the cool night air. I walk down the long driveway past the fountain that probably cost more than my parents' house. I walk past the iron gates with the Mendoza family crest. My phone starts ringing in my purse. I do not need to look to know it is Sebastian. I let it ring. I walk for blocks before I realize I am crying. And then I am not sure if I am crying from sadness or relief or rage, or some combination of all three. A taxi passes, and I flag it down. The driver is an older man with kind eyes. He asks if I am okay. I tell him I am fine, just leaving a bad party. He nods like he understands and does not ask more questions. I give him my address. He drives through the city and I watch the neighborhoods change, from the manicured lawns and gated communities to the more modest streets where I live. By the time we reach my apartment building, I have stopped crying. I pay the driver and thank him. I climb the stairs to my second-floor apartment. The building is old. The hallway carpet is worn. The paint is peeling in places, but it is mine. I earned it. No one gave it to me. Inside my apartment, I kick off the expensive shoes that hurt my feet. I unzip the blue dress and hang it carefully in my closet. I put on sweatpants and an old t-shirt. I make chamomile tea. I sit on my couch and I breathe. My phone will not stop buzzing. Calls from Sebastian. Texts, voicemails. I turn off the sound but I read some of the messages. Please answer. I am so sorry. I love you. We need to talk, please. I did not mean for that to happen. My mother was out of line. Please just talk to me. I cannot lose you, please. I delete them all. I block his number. I block him on every social media platform. I block his family too, all of them. Then I take a long hot shower and wash the evening off my skin, out of my hair, away from my body. I sleep better than I have in months. The next morning I wake up to someone knocking on my door. Loud, insistent knocking. I look through the peephole. It is Sebastian. He looks terrible. His hair is a mess. His eyes are red and swollen. He is wearing the same clothes from last night, now wrinkled and disheveled. Please, he says through the door. I know you are in there, please just let me explain. I open the door but I do not invite him in. I stand in the doorway, arms crossed. Thank God, he says. I have been calling all night. I was so worried. Please, can we talk? What is there to talk about? I ask. Everything. My mother, what she said. I am so sorry. She had no right. I was going to say something, I was about to stand up for you, but everything happened so fast and I froze, and I am an idiot. You froze, I repeat. Yes, I froze. I should have defended you immediately. I should have told my mother she was wrong. I should have walked out with you. But I did not, and I hate myself for it. Please give me another chance to make this right. How will you make it right, Sebastian? I will talk to my mother again. I will tell her she has to apologize to you. I will make it clear that you are important to me. That what she said was completely unacceptable. What about what you did not say? I ask. What do you mean? You sat there, Sebastian. For minutes, while your mother systematically tore me apart. You sat there and said nothing. Almost nothing. You said almost nothing. I know, he says, running his hands through his hair. I know, and I am sorry. I was shocked. I did not know what to say. I did not want to make a scene. But making a scene was exactly what the moment required. I say, that was the time to make a scene. That was the time to stand up and say, this is the woman I love. And I will not let anyone speak to her this way. Not even my mother. But you did not do that. His eyes fill with tears. I love you, he says. I love you so much. Please do not throw away 2 years because of one terrible night. It was not one night, I say quietly. It was 2 years of nights. 2 years of your mother making little comments about my clothes, my job, my family. 2 years of me feeling like I have to apologize for existing. 2 years of you saying nothing. I did say something, he protests. I defended you plenty of times. To me, I say. You defended me to me, in private after the fact. But you never once stood up to your mother in the moment. You never once made her stop. You let it continue because it was easier than confronting her. That is not fair, he says. Is it not? Think about every family dinner, every holiday, every gathering. How many times did she make some snide remark, and you just changed the subject? How many times did she compare me to your ex-girlfriends, all of whom came from the right families, and you just laughed it off? How many times did I tell you I felt uncomfortable, and you told me I was being too sensitive? He is fully crying now. I did not realize, he says. I did not understand how bad it was. I thought you were okay. I thought you could handle it. I could handle it, I say. I did handle it. For 2 years I handled it. But last night was different. Last night she said I would never be enough for you. And you know what the worst part was? You did not disagree. You sat there, and by your silence you agreed with her. That is not true, he says desperately. I do not agree with her at all. You are everything to me. If I were everything to you, I would have been worth defending. I am begging you, he says, reaching for my hands. I grab them but I do not let him pull me closer. Please do not do this. We can fix this. I will go to therapy. We can do couples counseling. I will do whatever it takes. Just please do not give up on us. I already gave up, Sebastian. Last night when I walked out, I gave up on us because I finally realized that loving someone is not enough if they do not respect you enough to fight for you. I do respect you, he insists. No, I say gently, you do not. You respect your mother's opinion more than mine. You care more about keeping peace in your family than about protecting me. And I understand why. She is your mother. She raised you, she has power over you. But I cannot be with someone who will always choose that power over me. So this is it, he asks. This is really the end. This is really the end. He sobs openly now, not caring who sees. I cannot lose you, he says, I cannot live without you. Please. I am begging you. I will change. I will be better. Just give me one more chance. I have given you 2 years of chances, I say. 2 years of opportunities to show me that I matter more than your mother's approval, and you never took them. Why would this time be different? Because now I know what it feels like to lose you, he says. Now I understand what I am giving up. Please. I am on my knees here. He actually drops to his knees on the hallway floor of my apartment building. Mrs. Chen from next door peers out her door, sees us and quickly closes it again. Get up, I say. Please get up. This is not going to change my mind. What will change your mind? He asks from the floor. Tell me what I need to do, and I will do it. Nothing, I say. There is nothing you can do, because the person I thought you were would not have needed to be told. The person I thought you were would have defended me without hesitation, but that person does not exist. Or maybe he never did. He stands up slowly, his face is wet with tears and snot. He looks destroyed. I love you, he says one more time. I know, I say. But your love is not enough. Your mother was right about one thing. You deserve someone from your level. Someone who will be okay with being treated as less than. Someone who will accept that your family comes first, always, no matter what, that someone is not me. I deserve more than that. I step back into my apartment. Goodbye, Sebastian. I close the door before he can respond. I hear him stay there for a few minutes crying, maybe hoping I will change my mind. Then I hear his footsteps as he walks away. I slide down to the floor, my back against the door, and I let myself feel everything. The sadness, the relief, the grief, the liberation. I cry for the relationship I thought I had. I cry for the man I thought he was. I cry for the time I wasted trying to be good enough for a family that would never accept me. And then I stop crying. I get up, I make coffee. I go for a run, I call my mother and tell her what happened. She cries with me, and then she says she is proud of me for knowing my worth. I call my best friend Maria. She offers to come over with wine and ice cream. I tell her yes. Days pass, then weeks. Sebastian tries different phone numbers. He sends flowers to my school. He sends letters. I do not respond to any of it. I throw myself into work. My students notice I seem different, lighter somehow. I am more present with them, more patient, more myself. I take the painting class I have been wanting to take for years, but never had time for because I was always attending Sebastian's work functions. I join a book club. I start running in the mornings. I reconnect with friends I neglected during the relationship. I start to remember who I was before I started trying to fit into the Mendoza family mold. I start to like that person again. 1 month after the dinner, I am at a coffee shop grading papers when someone asks if the seat across from me is taken. I look up and see a man about my age with warm brown eyes and an easy smile. He wears scrubs. He looks tired but kind. It is free, I say. His name is Daniel. He is a pediatric doctor at the hospital down the street. He is on his break. We start talking and I forget about my papers. He asks for my number. I hesitate, then give it to him. We start with coffee dates, then dinner, then museums and hikes and concerts. Daniel is easy to be with. He listens when I talk. He asks about my students. He is interested in my thoughts on books and movies and life. He treats waiters with respect. He opens doors for elderly people. He calls his mother every Sunday. When I tell him about my family, he asks when he can meet them. When I mention Sebastian, he listens without jealousy and tells me he is sorry I went through that. Daniel does not come from money. His father was a teacher. His mother was a nurse. He paid for medical school with loans he is still repaying. He lives in a modest apartment. He drives a 10-year-old car. He is more of a man than Sebastian ever was. 3 months after the dinner, Daniel and I are official. I introduce him to my parents. My father likes him immediately. They talk about baseball and cars. My mother cries happy tears and hugs him like he already belongs to the family. 4 months after the dinner, I realize I am happy. Genuinely, deeply happy. I wake up smiling. I go to bed grateful. I laugh more. I stress less. I feel free. 5 months after the dinner, Daniel and I talk about moving in together. We look at apartments. We imagine our future. It feels right in a way things with Sebastian never did. 6 months after the dinner, Daniel takes me to a small Italian restaurant. He is nervous all through dinner. He keeps fidgeting with his napkin, checking his phone, adjusting his collar. Are you okay? I ask. He takes my hand across the table. I have never been better, he says, and that is because of you. Then he stands up. He walks around the table. He gets down on one knee. The restaurant goes quiet. People turn to stare. My heart stops. I have known you for 5 months, he says. And in those 5 months you have made me happier than I have ever been. You are smart and kind and strong and funny and beautiful. You make me want to be better. You make everything better. I want to spend the rest of my life making you as happy as you make me. He pulls out a ring. It is not huge or flashy. It is elegant and simple and perfect. Will you marry me? I am crying. Yes, I say through tears. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. He slides the ring onto my finger. It fits perfectly. He kisses me and the restaurant erupts in applause and cheers. We post photos on social media that night. My phone explodes with likes and comments and congratulations. My friends are ecstatic. My family is overjoyed. Maria sends me a text in all caps saying, I told you someone better would come along. I am in bed, scrolling through all the happy messages, when I get a message request on social media from an account I do not recognize. I almost ignore it, but curiosity wins. I open it. My breath catches. It is from Marcella. I need to speak with you urgently. Please call me at this number. I stare at the message for a long time. Part of me wants to delete it, block her, pretend I never saw it. But another part of me is curious. What could she possibly want? I call the number. She answers immediately. Thank you for calling, she says. Her voice sounds different. Smaller. What do you want? I ask coldly. I saw your engagement announcement, she says. Congratulations. Thank you. Is that why you called? No, she says, after a pause. I called to apologize. This surprises me into silence. I was cruel to you, she continues. Unforgivably cruel. I said terrible things that came from my own prejudices and fears and insecurities. You did not deserve that. No one deserves that. Why are you telling me this now? I ask. She sighs, because Sebastian is not the same. He has not been the same since you left. He barely eats. He barely sleeps. He goes through the motions at work, but his heart is not in anything anymore. He is empty, and it is my fault. That is not my problem, I say. I know, she says quickly. I know it is not. I am not calling to ask you to take him back. I can see you have moved on. I can see you are happy. I am calling because you deserve to know that I was wrong. About you. About everything. You were good for my son. You made him better, and I destroyed it because I was too proud and too stupid to see what was right in front of me. I do not know what to say. I have thought about that night, every single day, she continues. I replay it in my mind. I see the look on your face. I see my son's cowardice. I see my own cruelty, and I am ashamed. You should be, I say. I am, she says. I truly am. I wanted you to know that. And I wanted to warn you. Warn me about what? Sebastian is not handling your engagement well. He is drinking heavily. He is talking about confronting you. About trying to win you back. I have tried to stop him, but he will not listen to me anymore. I am afraid he might do something foolish. If he comes near me, I will call the police. I say. I understand. I will do my best to keep him away. I just thought you should be prepared. There is a long silence. Your fiancé looks like a good man, Marcella says. Much better than my son turned out to be, thanks to my parenting. I hope you will be very happy. I will be, I say. I believe you will. Goodbye. She hangs up. I tell Daniel about the call the next morning over breakfast. He listens carefully, holding my hand. Are you worried? He asks. A little, I admit, but I am not going back to him. Nothing could make me go back. I know, Daniel says, and if he shows up, if he causes any problems, I will handle it. I will protect you. Always. And I believe him, Because Daniel is the kind of man who means what he says. 2 weeks pass. Sebastian tries to call from different numbers. I block each one. He sends messages through mutual friends. I tell them to stop. He sends flowers to the school. I give them to the teacher's lounge. Then one evening I come home from work and find him sitting on the steps outside my building. My heart pounds, but I am not afraid. I am angry. You need to leave, I say. He stands up. He looks worse than last time. Thinner. Paler. His clothes hang off him. His eyes are bloodshot. I know I should not be here, he says. But I had to see you. I had to try one more time. There is nothing to try, Sebastian. I am engaged. I am happy. You need to let me go. I cannot, he says. I have tried so hard to move on, but I cannot. You are all I think about. You are all I want. That is not love, I say. That is obsession. That is you not being able to handle rejection. It is love, he insists. I love you. I will always love you. Maybe you do in your way. But it is not the kind of love I need. It is not the kind of love that respects me, that values me, that would fight for me when it matters. I am ready to fight now, he says. I am ready to be the man you needed. You are 6 months too late. It is never too late. It is too late. I am marrying someone else. Someone who did not need to lose me to learn how to treat me right. Someone who knew from the beginning. He takes a step closer. Does he know you like I know you? Does he know that you bite your lip when you are concentrating? That you hum when you cook? That you cry at commercials with dogs in them? He knows me better, I say. Because he sees all of me, not just the parts I thought you wanted to see. I made a mistake, Sebastian says. One terrible mistake. Are you really going to punish me forever? It was not one mistake. It was a pattern. It was 2 years of you choosing your family over me. That night was just the moment I finally saw it clearly. I have changed, he says desperately. I stood up to my mother. I told her she was wrong. I told her I would give up everything for you. But I do not want you to give up everything for me. I say. I never did. I just wanted you to choose me sometimes. Just sometimes. And you never could. Sebastian starts crying. What do I do? How do I fix this? You do not, I say gently. You cannot. This is not fixable. What you can do is learn from it. You can be better for the next person. You can stand up to your mother from the beginning. You can defend the people you love even when it is uncomfortable. You can be the man you should have been for me. He shakes his head. There is no next person. There is only you. That is not true. But you have to let me go to find out. I cannot. You have to, for both our sakes. He looks at me with such pain in his eyes that I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. I am sorry I failed you, he whispers. I am sorry too, I say, but I am not sorry I left. That was the best decision I ever made. I turn to go into my building. Wait, he calls. One more thing. What? Are you happy? Truly happy with him? I turn back. Yes, I say. Happier than I knew was possible. He nods slowly. Good. That is all I ever wanted for you. I do not think that is true, but I do not say it. I watch him walk away, shoulders slumped, defeated. I feel sad for him, but I do not regret anything. Inside my apartment, I call Daniel. I tell him what happened. He says he is coming over. 20 minutes later he is at my door with takeout and chocolate, and his presence, which is all I really need. We eat dinner on the couch. We watch a movie. He holds me and I feel safe. This is what love should feel like. I think, easy, comfortable, strong. The wedding is 3 weeks away. I am trying on my dress for the final fitting when my phone buzzes. It is a text from an unknown number. I am sorry for everything. I hope you have a beautiful wedding. You deserve all the happiness in the world. I will not bother you again. Goodbye. It is from Sebastian. I show the text to Maria, who is with me at the fitting. Finally she says, maybe now he can move on. I hope so, I say. I really do. The wedding day arrives sunny and perfect. I wear a simple white dress. My father walks me down the aisle, and tries not to cry. My mother cries enough for both of them. Daniel waits for me at the altar. and the look on his face when he sees me tells me everything I need to know. The ceremony is short and sweet. We exchange vows we wrote ourselves. Daniel promises to always defend me, always choose me, always make me feel valued and loved and respected. I promise the same. When the officiant asks if anyone objects, there is only happy silence. We kiss and everyone cheers. At the reception, I dance with my father. I am so proud of you, he says. Not for marrying a doctor, but for having the courage to walk away when you were not being treated right. You and Mom taught me I deserve respect, I say. We tried, he says, smiling. Looks like you listened. Later, Daniel and I dance together. He holds me close. Thank you, he whispers. For what? For choosing me, for trusting me, for letting me love you the way you deserve to be loved. Thank you for making it easy, I say. That night, after all the guests leave, after we drive away in a car decorated with streamers and cans, after we check into the hotel where we will spend our wedding night before flying to our honeymoon in the morning, I check my phone one last time. There is a message from Marcella. The wedding photos are beautiful. You made the right choice. I hope someday Sebastian learns what you tried to teach him. That real love means fighting for someone even when it is hard, especially when it is hard. Thank you for showing him what strength looks like, even if he was too weak to see it at the time. I am sorry I could not see it either. I wish you every happiness. I show Daniel the message. How do you feel? He asks. I think about it. Free, I say. I feel completely free. He kisses me. Good. That is exactly how you should feel. And I realize this is the truth. By walking away from someone who did not value me, I made room for someone who does. By choosing myself, I found someone who chooses me too. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is leave. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is say no. I deserve better than this. Sometimes the best decision you can make is to close the door on what hurts you and walk toward what heals you. I did that, and now I am here. Married to a man who sees me, who respects me, who fights for me. I made the right choice. The only choice. And I have never been happier.